Listen to me right now. People come into your life, they say they're here to stay, but when things get tough, when the stakes get high, they leave, and it hurts, right? But here's the truth you need to understand today. If you keep waiting for people to stick around, you'll miss the one thing that truly matters: you. By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same again. You will own your future. You will stop waiting for validation and start demanding your success. Let's go. You've been there. We all have. There's a certain level of comfort in leaning on others, isn't there? It feels good to have someone by your side, telling you everything will be okay, reassuring you when the world feels like it's falling apart. But here's the hard truth. This comfort can be a trap. And here's what I want you to understand. You cannot afford to depend on anyone else to validate your existence. Not a partner, not a friend, not even family. The moment you give your power to someone else, you risk losing control over your own life. Think about it. In our society, we're conditioned to find security in others. From the moment we're born, we're told we need to fit in, seek approval, and find our place in the world through connections with others. But let me ask you, what happens when these connections fall apart? What happens when that person you relied on leaves? What happens when the person you thought would always be there isn't anymore? The pain, the confusion, the emptiness, it's all real. But what if I told you that your real power lies not in what you get from others, but in what you build from within yourself? Let me share a story with you. I want you to think about the incredible life of Steve Jobs. Many of us know his story, the highs, the lows, the revolutionary successes with Apple. But do you know the part of his story where he lost it all? After being ousted from Apple, the company he built with his own hands, Jobs was devastated. He lost the very thing he had devoted his life to. He was at rock bottom with nothing but his own thoughts, his own ideas, and his own drive to keep him moving forward. But here's the critical moment. Instead of depending on others to fix things, he went within. Jobs didn't wait for approval, for a handout, or for anyone to tell him that he was worthy. He reinvented himself, and in that reinvention, he came back stronger, leading Apple to become the iconic company we know today. Why did he succeed when so many others fail? Because he understood something that most of us miss. Your power is within you. When you rely on others, you're not only giving up control of your destiny, but you're also opening the door for resentment, disappointment, and frustration. People change, they leave, they disappoint. It's human nature. But your ability to bounce back, to rise from the ashes, doesn't depend on anyone else's actions. It depends on you. And when you stop waiting for someone else to pick you up, that's when you'll realize the true magnitude of your own potential. Psychologically, the need for validation is a survival instinct. We are social creatures. We want to belong. We want to be loved. But when you rely too heavily on others for this validation, you become fragile. You begin to define yourself based on their opinions. And here's where the danger lies. When those opinions change, so does your sense of self-worth. You lose your anchor and you're left adrift. Think about the countless people who chase approval their entire lives, whether it's in the workplace, in relationships, or in their social circles. They change who they are. They twist themselves into pretzels, all to make others happy, all to earn a sense of value from others. But in doing so, they lose themselves. You can't be everything to everyone, and when you try, you end up being nothing to yourself. So here's the shift I want you to make today. Stop waiting for permission. Stop seeking validation. Start being the person who defines your own worth. You've been given everything you need to succeed within yourself. Your talents, your drive, your resilience, they are all there waiting for you to unleash them. You don't need anyone else's approval to make it happen. I'll leave you with this. The moment you stop depending on others for your happiness, for your success, for your worth, you start to take full control of your life. And that's when everything begins to change. You become unstoppable. You are no longer subject to the whims of others. You are free. And that freedom is the foundation of your future success. So stop waiting. The time to act is now. How much do you really know about yourself? I'm not talking about what your friends think of you or what society tells you who you should be. I'm talking about the deep, untapped potential within you, the part of you that knows no limits. The part of you that only comes alive when you stop listening to everyone else and start listening to yourself. You see, we spend our entire lives collecting information from the outside world, what's popular, what's acceptable, what's expected. But when do you take the time to step back and ask, who am I really? Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey, one of the most powerful and influential women in the world today. Do you think Oprah was always this confident, this driven, this successful? Absolutely not. Oprah's life has been one of trials, heartache, and doubt. She wasn't always celebrated. She was once told she wasn't good enough for television. She was told she was too emotional, too opinionated, too different to be a leader. But Oprah did something incredibly powerful that most people overlook. She went on a journey of self-discovery. She took the time to explore who she really was beyond the limitations others tried to place on her. And through that process, she unlocked her true potential, which has allowed her to impact millions of lives around the globe. Here's the key. Self-discovery is not just about finding out who you are, it's about discovering who you can become. When you begin this journey, you stop living in reaction to the world. You stop living according to others' expectations, and you start living according to your own truth. And when you live from that place, there is nothing more powerful. You become unstoppable. Let's be real for a second. Most of us are afraid to truly know ourselves. Why? Because the truth can be uncomfortable. We're afraid of what we might uncover, our flaws, our insecurities, our weaknesses. But guess what? That's part of the beauty of the journey. The flaws you see today are just stepping stones to the strength you will find tomorrow. And when you embrace that truth, something incredible happens. You stop feeling lost. You stop needing to search for answers everywhere else. You become your own greatest resource. Think of Thomas Edison, a man who failed over 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. He could have easily given up after his first, second, or 100th failure. But what did he do? He discovered the power of resilience within himself. He didn't wait for someone to tell him it was possible. He didn't let others dictate his worth. He became his own source of motivation, and in doing so, changed the world. Self-discovery doesn't just happen overnight, it's a process. You have to be willing to face your fears, your doubts, and your limitations head on. You have to ask yourself tough questions. What am I afraid of? What do I truly want? What am I capable of? These questions are uncomfortable, yes, but they're the gateway to understanding the full scope of your power. When you start seeking answers within yourself, you start making decisions that align with who you truly are, not who you think you should be. Remember, every time you make the choice to dig deeper into your soul, you build a stronger foundation for your future. When you embrace self-discovery, you start living with purpose, with conviction, with confidence. You stop second-guessing yourself and start walking forward with unwavering belief in who you are. So ask yourself today, are you ready to discover the real you? Because once you do, nothing will ever be the same. You'll stop looking for validation in the wrong places. You'll stop living for the approval of others. You'll start living for you. And in doing so, you will unlock the most powerful force within you, the power to shape your own destiny. Don't wait for anyone else to define your worth. The power to change your life is already inside of you, waiting to be discovered. I want you to think about something for a moment. How often do you find yourself replaying the past in your mind? The mistakes, the failures, the moments that hurt. How many times have you let that old narrative control your present? That story you tell yourself, the one where you failed, the one where they left you, the one where things didn't go the way you hoped. How much of that story are you still living today? Here's the harsh truth. Your past is not meant to be a place you live, it's a place you learn from. But so many people get stuck there, trapped by their past mistakes, their past relationships, or their past identity. And when you get stuck in that past, you're not living in the present. You're a prisoner of it. You're letting the events of yesterday determine the possibilities of tomorrow. And that's where the magic of your life gets stolen. Let me tell you a story about Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. We all know his successes, the 6 NBA championships, the MVP awards, the legendary moments on the court. But what many don't realize is that Jordan's path to greatness was paved with failure. He was cut from his high school basketball team. He faced rejection. He struggled to find his footing in the league early on. But here's the key. Jordan didn't let those failures define him. He didn't hold on to them. He used them. He learned from them. When people told him he wasn't good enough, instead of accepting that as his truth, he made it his fuel. He turned every failure into a lesson and every rejection into motivation. That's why he's not just a champion, he's an icon. Now, think about yourself. How many times have you let a failure, a setback, or a heartbreak hold you back? How many times have you allowed the scars of the past to dictate how you show up in the world today? The pain is real, and I'm not here to tell you to ignore it. It's okay to feel the weight of what you've gone through, but don't let it define you. You are not your past. You are the person who chooses what to do with it. Psychologically, the reason we tend to dwell on the past is because of the fear of repeating it. We get caught in a loop of overthinking, of trying to protect ourselves from being hurt again. But here's the truth. By dwelling on the past, you're preventing yourself from moving forward. You're giving all your power to something that's already happened instead of using the lessons from it to fuel your next step forward. Take Walt Disney, for example. He was told no so many times. He was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination. He went bankrupt before he created Disney World. His past was full of rejections, but he didn't let that stop him. He kept pushing forward. He understood that the past only has the power you give it. He used his experiences to propel him to greatness, and his legacy has impacted billions of people around the world. You don't have to carry that weight forever. The people who succeed, the ones who overcome the deepest obstacles, are the ones who look at their past with clear eyes and say, I am not that person anymore. They take the lesson and they leave the pain behind. They turn the narrative into something empowering. They transform the pain into purpose. Your past is a chapter in your story. It doesn't define the ending. You have the pen. You have the power to write the next chapter however you choose. If you let go of the need to live in the past, if you stop identifying with the pain, the shame, or the regrets, you'll find an incredible freedom. Freedom to be who you're meant to be. Freedom to act without the constant weight of what went wrong. Here's what I need you to do. Let it go. The mistakes, the failures, the hurts, they've all played their part. They've all taught you something. But now it's time to free yourself from them. Learn from the past, but don't carry it with you anymore. You're not that person anymore. You're the person who's ready to move forward. The next chapter starts now. So what are you going to do with the rest of your story? The answer is in your hands. Let me ask you something. How much control do you really think you have over your life? Do you believe that circumstances, situations, or other people dictate your future? Or do you understand that your mindset is the one thing you can control, and it's the key to everything? I want you to realize something today. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have. It's the thing that shapes your reality, the lens through which you view the world, and ultimately it determines the outcomes you experience in your life. But here's the thing, not everyone understands this. Too many people live on autopilot, allowing their thoughts and beliefs to be shaped by external forces. They let their environment, the opinions of others, or their past failures control their present. And that's exactly why they don't see the results they want. Think about Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest athletes to ever live. His journey wasn't just about raw physical talent. It was about his mindset. Ali had an unshakable belief in himself, even when others doubted him. When he was younger, he was told he would never be a champion. He was told he wasn't strong enough, fast enough, or skilled enough. But Ali didn't listen to those voices. Instead, he formed his own. He built a mindset that said, I am the greatest. I am unstoppable. I am destined for greatness. He believed in himself so fiercely that it became reality. His mindset didn't just guide him, it created his success. And I want you to understand that this isn't something only a few exceptional people have access to. This is your birthright. Your mind is the most powerful force you have, but most people don't know how to tap into it. You have the ability to program your thoughts, to decide what you believe, and to dictate how you respond to every situation that comes your way. But it all starts with one thing, awareness. If you're not aware of the thoughts you're having, how can you ever change them? Your thoughts are like the software running in the background of your mind. If you let them run unchecked, they'll be like viruses feeding you limiting beliefs and self-doubt. But when you take control and choose what to think, your mindset becomes your superpower. Here's a story that highlights this. Think about J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her success, she faced rejection after rejection. She was a single mother living on welfare. She was told her book wouldn't sell. She was told it wasn't good enough. But Rowling didn't let those thoughts take over. She chose to believe in her story, in her talent, and in her dream. And today she's one of the wealthiest and most successful authors in the world. She understood that failure is just a stepping stone to success, but if she had let the fear of rejection or the judgment of others control her, we wouldn't have the magic of Harry Potter today. Your mindset has the power to turn obstacles into opportunities, challenges into growth, and setbacks into comebacks. But here's the hard truth. You cannot change the outside world until you first change the world inside your head. You can't wait for the conditions to be perfect. You can't wait for the right people to show up. You can't wait for life to get easier. You have to master your mindset right now, with whatever you have in front of you. Because when you do, you'll realize that you are the one in control of your life and nothing can stop you. Think about this. Every time you face an obstacle, you have two choices. You can either let that obstacle define you, or you can define how you respond to it. The choice is yours. This is the power of mindset. This is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what am I telling myself right now? What are the beliefs that are shaping my actions? Are they empowering me or holding me back? Your future is created by the thoughts you think today. So, master your mindset. Program your mind for success. Choose your beliefs, your actions, and your words with intention. And watch as the world around you starts to reflect the power you've awakened within yourself. Real strength, true unshakable strength, does not come from the outside. It doesn't come from the praise of others, the approval of society, or the validation of your achievements. No, real strength is forged from within. It is born from the depths of your soul, from the fire that burns inside of you, and from the will to stand tall, even when everything around you seems to be crumbling. This is the strength that builds empires. This is the strength that allows people to rise again no matter how many times they've been knocked down. And this is the strength that you right now are capable of unlocking within yourself. Let me tell you about Nelson Mandela. This man spent 27 years of his life imprisoned in a small cell, living under conditions that would break the spirit of most. He was cut off from his family, from his people, and from the world. Yet despite this unimaginable suffering, Mandela's strength never faltered. Why? Because he understood one fundamental truth. True strength doesn't come from circumstances. It doesn't come from what others do to you. It comes from what you decide to do with what you have inside. Mandela didn't wait for his oppressors to show him mercy. He didn't rely on the world to give him a reason to keep fighting. He found strength in his beliefs, in his purpose, and in his unshakable conviction that he could make a difference. And when he was finally freed, he became one of the most powerful voices for peace and change in history. I want you to understand this. You are not defined by the things that happen to you. You are defined by how you choose to respond. Everyone faces adversity. Everyone. But it's how you choose to navigate that adversity that determines your true strength. Do you let the storm break you, or do you use it to fuel your growth? When life throws its worst at you, do you crumble, or do you dig deep and find a resilience you never knew you had? That is the strength I'm talking about. Think about Malala Yousafzai, the young woman who stood up for education in a place where girls were not allowed to go to school. She was shot by the Taliban for speaking out, but instead of succumbing to fear, instead of letting that act of violence silence her, Malala found her voice more powerfully than ever. She turned her pain into purpose. She turned her struggle into strength. And now, at such a young age, she's become a global symbol of courage, showing millions of people the power of inner strength. She teaches us that no matter the obstacle, no matter how impossible the fight seems, the strength to rise above it is always within us. You see, strength doesn't always look like what we expect it to. It's not always about being physically strong or loud or dominant. Sometimes real strength is quiet. It's the quiet decision to get out of bed every day when you feel like giving up. It's the quiet determination to keep going when no one else believes in you. It's the quiet resolve to rise above the negativity and find peace in your heart. Real strength is having the courage to show up, to keep going, and to believe in your own power, even when the world is telling you otherwise. This is why I want you to stop looking outside of yourself for strength. You don't need anyone else's permission to be strong. You don't need someone else to tell you that you can overcome. You already have everything you need. Inside of you, there's a well of strength that is limitless if you tap into it. You just have to stop doubting it. Stop thinking you're not capable. Stop waiting for someone to give you the green light. You have to make the decision right now that you're going to believe in yourself. You're going to trust that you have the inner power to face anything life throws at you. So I want you to look inside today, dig deep, ask yourself, what strength have I been overlooking? What is